Yes, sir.
So since we have faced some problems in the last class, so those problems I'm going to solve on Sunday. So I'm going to take a special class on Sunday for 2 hours. So kindly bear with me. On Sunday from 10 to 12 I'm going to take. So we will be solving those problems on Sunday, and we will be continuing with the third module. Okay. So today I'm going to start with the third module, and on Sunday, I told right, on Sunday we will be having a special class. Okay, that is from 10 to 12. So I'm going to engage 2 hours or 1.5 hour class on Sunday, and we'll complete those problems what we have left out. Then we'll move to third module. That is the third module I'm going to start. Today I'm going to start with the third module, that is the intersections and design of that intersections. Inform your friends, those who are not here. So Sunday from 10 to 12, 10 to 11:30. Okay, not 2 hours. I will take hardly 1.5 hour on Sunday. So I will start with third module. Let my screen. Screen is visible, right? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So in the second module, we have discussed about various types of surveys and data collected from the various surveys, and we have solved some problems also. That is spot speed study and speed and delay problems. So in the module 3, it is full of theory. There is it is a little bit theory. So we will go one by one. What is those theory part? That is intersection. What do you mean by intersection? What are the various types of intersection? What are their advantages, disadvantages, all those things. And in this module also, you may expect problems. Okay, two types of problems you may expect. That is the problems you are going to expect. That is signal design and rotary intersection design problems. I'm going to solve. Okay, by the end of the third module, I'm going to solve. That is before your IA, I'm going to solve the problems. So kindly bear with me. I have to take special classes for you people. Why? Because in the starting, the 9 classes were lost due to that placement and training activity. That's why I'm going to engage hardly 3 to 4 hours special classes. So on Sunday, I'm going to engage. That is on Sunday, I'm going to take the problems on second module, and some part of the third module theory part I'm going to explain. Okay, so everyone, I request everyone to attend the class on Sunday, only 1.5 hour. So kindly bear with me. So only 1.5 hour from 10 a.m. to 11:30 I'm going to take it. Okay, so we will directly move to third module. So in the module 3, we are going to discuss about what are the various types of intersections. Then we are going to discuss about advantages and disadvantages, and the guidelines for selecting suitable type of intersection. Okay, the first one will go for what do you mean by this intersection? Okay, intersection, as we all know that it is a common term called when two or more line meets at a point. Okay, when two or lines meet at a single point, correct as a intersection. Since we are dealing with the roads, okay, since we are dealing with the traffic and roads, so here intersection means where two or more roads join or cross or meet. When two or more roads meet at a single point, so two or more roads join or cross or meet at a single point, that we are going to call it as a intersection. So remember, intersection means when two or more roads meet at a single point or cross at a single point or meet at a single point, that we are going to call it as a intersection. You can observe in the photo that there are 4 roads are there. So they are meeting at a common point here. You can, I am highlighting. So they are meeting at a common point here. This we are going to call it as a intersection. Okay, this we are going to call it as intersection, where two or more roads meet at a single point. Okay, you can see here road 1, road 2, road 3, and road 4. 4 roads meeting at a single point, that we are going to call it as a intersection. So remember, when two or more roads meet at a single point or cross at a single point, that we are going to call it as a intersection. Then the efficiency, safety, speed, cost of operation, and capacity of road system very much depending on planning and design of intersection. So if the intersection is properly planned and designed properly, means we can have the efficiency. That is without accidents, the intersection can be operated. That is the efficiency and safety. Then speed. We can easily control the speed in the intersection. So we all know that in the intersection we are going to move with a very lesser speed. Okay, we are going to move with very lesser speed. Then cost of operation and capacity, that is a vehicle volume also very less will be in the intersection. So these are the points you have to remember. If the intersection is planned and designed properly, means we are going to get efficient, safe, speed, cost of operation, and capacity of road system should be good. Then pedestrian movements at intersection cause increased potential hazards and delays. As we all know that pedestrians, the people will be moving on the road itself. Since in the first module I am telling, the pedestrians, if we provide any separate lane for the pedestrians, means they will use that. If the provision of separate lane is not provided, means they will be using the intersection and they will be causing the potential hazard. Potential hazard means that is accidents. Accident rates are high in the intersection because of these pedestrians. You can observe that the accident for pedestrian, the accident caused by the pedestrian is basically in the intersection only. At the intersection only, the accident is going to occur to the pedestrian. So these are the 3 points you should remember in the intersection. One is where 2 or more roads meet or cross or join, that we are going to call it as intersection. The efficiency, safety, cost of operation, and capacity depends on planning and design of intersection. And pedestrians are causing the potential hazards at the intersection. That is because the pedestrians, they will not be using any separate lane or separate skywalk. They will be simply walking on the intersection without seeing any marking or signals, so which will be causing the potential hazards and delays. Then the intersections are classified into 2 types. That is, one is intersection at grade and grade separated intersection. So what do you mean by this intersection at grade? Means when 2 or more roads meet at a same level. Okay, same level means that is the road level. When they are met at road level, the same road level without any flyover or underpass, that we are going to call it as at grade intersection. So grade separated intersection means when 2 or more roads meet at a different level. For example, the Hebbal flyover. Okay, the Hebbal flyover is the best example for grade separated intersection. Below that, one more signal is there. Below the Hebbal flyover, that will be called as at grade intersection. So the roads will be at the same level and they are intersecting, means we are going to call it as a intersection at grade when they are intersecting at different level. That is a Hebbal flyover, which is a grade separated intersection. Okay. Now we will see what do you mean by this intersection at grade. Okay. Is it clear? Intersection and types of intersections. Is it clear? Kindly respond. Kindly respond. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is a intersection at grade. Okay. These include all roads which meet at more or less at the same level. I told it when the 2 roads meet at the same level. For example, this is at 2-meter height and this road should be at 2-meter height. Okay, if these 2 roads meet at a single point with the same level, that is at the same level, if the 2 roads are meet at the same level, that we are going to call it as a at grade intersection. The traffic maneuvers like merging, diverging, and crossing are involved in intersection at grade. So we are going to see this. What is this merging and crossing in the basic maneuver at the end of the class? So I am going to teach you what is this merging, diverging, and crossing traffic. So nothing to worry about that. So I'm going to teach this one at the end. Then so simply remember, all the traffic maneuvers can be adapted in the intersection at grade. That is a merging, diverging, and crossing or weaving maneuvers can be done in the at grade intersection. Then the intersection at grade are further classified into 4 categories. Okay, the at grade intersections are classified into 4 category. The first one is a unchannelized intersection. You can observe here, this is the unchannelized intersection. When it is a unchannelized means there will be no channelizing island or marking will not be there. If the roads without marking, okay, if the intersections without marking, that we can call it as a unchannelized intersection. So remember, the roads without marking, that we are going to call it as a unchannelized intersection. Next one is a channelized intersection. You can observe the difference between the first one and the second one. So here an island is provided, a rotary is provided. You can observe here the markings are provided. So channelized intersection means with marking. Okay, the roads are the intersection with markings and islands. Okay, with markings and islands, we are going to call it as a channelized intersection. So remember, the road with markings and islands, that we are going to call it as a channelized intersection. Then comes the, this is also a channelized intersection. You can observe here the island, the rotary, and the island here. So this is also channelized intersection, and this is called as a rotary intersection. Okay, rotary intersection. So whenever you observe this rotational movement of traffic, that we are going to call it as a rotary intersection. Then comes the last one is a signalized intersection. As we all familiar with this signalized intersection, that is the intersection with traffic signals. So everywhere in Bangalore we are having this traffic signalized intersection. This type of intersection we are going to call it as a at grade signalized intersection. So there are 4 types of at grade intersections are there. One is unchannelized. So where without markings and islands, we are going to call it as unchannelized. Then with markings and islands. Okay, you can observe here the islands. Okay, this is the small places the on the road, markings and islands. So that we are going to call it as a channelized intersection. Rotary means this is called the rotary type. So this is a rotary. So you can observe, which is similar to rotational movement will be there. So that's why it is called as rotary. And the last one is a signalized intersection. So remember, in the exam they will ask for 4 marks. First one, define intersection, define at grade intersection, list out the various groups of at grade intersection. So the various groups of at grade intersection are unchannelized intersection, channelized intersection, rotary intersection, then signalized intersection. These are the 4 types. You can observe when the with roads without marking and island, that we are going to call it as unchannelized. With the marking and island, we are going to call it as channelized. This is channelized, and this is also channelized. Then rotary, the rotating movement of the traffic, we are going to call it as rotary intersection. Then signalized intersection, as we all know that the intersection where traffic signals are installed, that we are going to call it as a signalized intersection. And while designing this at grade intersection, we have to remember the relative speed and area of availability. Relative speed means the movement speed with respect to each vehicle. The relative, for example, if vehicle is moving with 50, so another vehicle is moving with 40, the relative speed is 10 kmph. Okay, the difference of these two speed is 10 kmph. So that we are going to call it as a relative speed. That the vehicle B is moving 10 kilometer lesser than the vehicle A. Okay, is it clear? At grade intersection types, Kindly respond. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, some people are here. So I'm going to engage Sunday a special class from 10 to 11:30. So whatever the problems we are left out in the second module, I'm going to solve that problems in the Sunday's class. That is, kindly bear with me. From 10 to 11:30, I'm going to engage. Okay, only 1.5 hours I'm going to engage. So 10 to 11:30, I'm going to engage. Okay, and we will complete that second module problem and we will continue with the third module. So this is about intersection at grade. So in this we have come across with this channelized, unchannelized, rotary and signalized. The next concept is requirements. What are the requirements of intersection? Where you are going to provide this at grade intersection. So the requirements of at grade intersection are at the intersection area of conflict should be small as possible. Conflict area of conflict means you remember accidental area. Okay, accidental area. So or conflict means accident. You remember simply area of conflict means the accidental area or accident we can remember. So where you can provide this at grade intersection where the accident number of accidents are less, there you can provide this at grade intersection. So remember at the intersection the area of conflict should be as small as possible. Whenever you are providing an intersection there the accident rate should be very less, there you can provide this at grade intersection. Then the relative speed and angle of approach of vehicle should be small. I told right the vehicle relative speed and angle of approach means angle of entry into the road should be very small. So relative, I told that a vehicle is moving with 50 and the B vehicle is moving with 40. The relative speed of these two vehicles is 10 kmph. The difference is 10 kmph. So we can say that the vehicle B is moving 10 km per hour lesser than the vehicle A. That is with relative to A, we are referring B. So the same, the relative speed of the each vehicle, we are going to keep as small as possible. The angle of approach and relative speed should be as small as possible. Then adequate visibility should be avoidable. There is it should be where the roads are properly visible. Where the roads are properly visible, there we can go for this at grade intersection. Okay, when the roads are not properly because of the buildings in the intersection, if the side distances are probleming means we can't go for this intersection at grade. So the visibility should be proper. Then sudden change of path should be avoided. Okay, you will be moving. For example, I'll consider a four-legged intersection. So your vehicle will be moving here. So you are tend to move straight. Okay, you will be tending to move straight. Suddenly, if you change to left means the vehicle which is coming in opposite direction or the vehicle which is coming back in your back vehicle. So they may hit you and which will leads to accidents. So sudden change of path should be avoided. Okay, so whenever you are providing this at grade intersection, there sudden change of path should be avoided. Then geometric features like turning radius, width of pavement should be adequately provided. Okay, so I'll tell what is this turning radius. So remember, so this is a four-legged intersection. So you will be moving like this. Okay, that radius which is obtained that is while turning right turn that you are going to call it as a turning radius. Okay, you will be moving right at the intersection. You are going to turn, rotate your steering of your vehicle. Thereby, you are going to make a curve, horizontal curve. That curving portion radius we are going to call it as a turning radius. So the turning radius and width of the pavement. So the width of the road, the pavement means we can call it as road in general. So the geometric features like turning radius and the width of the road should be adequately provided. So for example, the road width should be provided as 7.5 meters and turning radius should be provided as 120 meters. So this is the general. The turning radius is 120 meter and the width of the pavement is 7.5 meter in the intersection. So proper sign should be provided on the road approaching intersection to warn drivers. So you can observe in the intersection that the signs will be installed. Okay, at the entry and at the exit of the intersection, signs will be installed saying that left turn is prohibited, speed breaker is there, so median is open. So likewise, the signs should be installed at the entry point of the intersection to warn the driver. So why? Because the driver, some people will be there, they will be moving at a very high speed. So for that, you should warn the driver that you are entering an intersection. So that this is one of the requirement for the at-grade intersection. Then separate provision should be made for pedestrians and cyclists. I told right, the pedestrians are the main key point for causing the accident in the intersection. That's why you should provide a separate lane for pedestrian and cyclist. Then good lighting at night is desirable. I think you have seen at the intersection during night time high mast lamp. Okay, high mast lamp will be installed so that it should be provided with good night visibility. So these are the 8 requirements you should remember in the exam. This is the important question for your IA and for your exam also. What are the explain the requirements or outline the requirements of the intersection at grade means you should be in a position to answer. That is the area of conflict should be small as small possible. Then relative speed and angle of approach or entry should be small. Adequate visibility should be inadequate visibility. Sorry. Adequate visibility should be there. Then a sudden change of path should be avoided. Geometric features like turning radius, width of the pavement should be adequately provided. Proper signs should be provided on the road approaching intersections to warn the driver. That is you have to warn the driver that you are entering an intersection. You are making the driver to psychologically understand that he is entering the intersection. Then separate provision should be made for pedestrians and cyclists. Then good lighting at night is desirable. These are the requirements of intersection at grade, and this is very important. In the exam, majority of the question paper, we are going to expect this question, that is requirements of intersection at grade. Okay, is it clear? Any doubts in this? Is it clear? Shall we proceed? Kindly respond.
Yes, sir.
Next is the various forms of intersection at grade. I told right, at grade intersection means when 2 or more roads meet at a same level. So various forms are, you can observe here, this is the T junction. So it resembles like alphabet letter T. That's why they have called it as T junction. This is the crossroads. Y junction. It is resembles like letter Y in the alphabet. Then this is a skewed cross, or we can call it as a X junction also. X junction, since it resembles like X in the alphabet, and a skewed junction, staggered. Staggered means, as we all know, that one will be on the left side and one will be on the right side. So this is the staggered. Then skewed staggered, that is with an angle. Then a multi-leg intersection, or we can call it as a irregular. Okay, irregular intersection. So these are the various forms. Okay, this is also asked in the exam, various forms of intersection. Only for 2 marks they will ask. Simply write the forms. T, simply writing the word T in bigger manner. Then crossroads, plus mark. Y intersection, skewed or scissor. It looks like a scissor. That is a X. Scissor, skewed junction, staggered and skewed junction, and multi-leg or irregular intersection. These are the various forms of intersections at grade. Next is a important concept called channelization. What do you mean by this channelization? So as we all know that channel, okay, channel means making the traffic or making the water to move in a specified path. Channelizing means moving in a specified path, that we are going to call it as a channelization. So here when it comes for traffic, we are going to make the vehicle to move in a specified path. Okay, specified path we are going to make the vehicle to move. That process we are going to call it as a channelization. Okay, that is by providing the traffic marking or islands, we can achieve this channelization. So remember, channelization means making the vehicle to move in a definite path. Okay, so for example, if you consider the road, we will consider 4-lane divided. So this is the median. So by providing a barricade here, only bus lane. Okay, only bus lane means only buses will be entering in the road. Only buses will be entering the road and making that channelization. There is only one type of vehicle will be moving in a specified path, that we are going to call it as a channelization. So remember, channelization, the direction of traffic flow at intersection to definite path by means of traffic markings, islands, or other means known as a channelization. So remember, making the vehicle to move in a specified path by means of traffic markings. Okay, we will discuss these traffic markings and islands or other means we are going to call it as a traffic marking. So a channelized intersection is one which traffic is diverted into definite path by islands and markings. So remember, channelization means making the vehicle to move in a definite path with the help of traffic markings, islands, or other means. Then this channelization can be achieved by using islands and marking. I will show here. You can observe here. This is the shaded portion. Whatever I am shading, so you can observe this is the island. As we all know that island means a small piece of land on the road where the traffic is not utilized. Okay. So this is the island. So with the help of this island, we can observe here the traffic is moving in a definite path. Okay, they will not be moving randomly like here, or like here. They will not be moving. They are properly moving in a specified path. So properly moving in a specified path, that we are going to call it as a channelization. So remember, making the traffic to move in a specified path with the help of island, there is a small piece of land on the road, or markings. If the land availability is not there, means we are going to go for a traffic marking, road marking. Okay, using the road marking, we are going to get this channelization. So remember, channelization means making the vehicle to move in a definite path by means of traffic markings or islands. Okay, so you can observe in the diagram. I will erase the things whatever I have written. You can observe here the traffic is moving in a definite path. They are not moving in random manner. Okay, so the vehicle coming from here, it is not entering here. So it will not be moving here, and the vehicle coming from here, it is not entering. They are moving in a proper manner. Have you observed? Have you observed here? Kindly respond. Have you observed? Kindly respond. Yes, you can observe here. So the traffic is moving in a definite path. Okay, that achieving that definite movement of traffic in a specified path means we are going to call it as channelization. How we are going to achieve this channelization? By islands and markings. By islands and markings, we are going to get this channelization. So next, what are the functions of channelization? So today we are going to discuss what are the functions. This is also very, very important. Mark it. So I'm going to upload the third module notes by Sunday. So not to worry to read for that is second IA. So this is very important question from the IA point of view and from the examination point of view. That is the functions of channelization. So what are the functions? So by adapting the channelization, making the vehicle to move in a specified path, we can separate the conflict. Conflict, I told, accident. we can easily avoid or we can easily reduce the number of accidents by providing the channelization. So to diminish the number of possible vehicle conflicts, to reduce the possible area of conflicts, to present drivers with only in one decision at a time. So if we provide channelization, we can easily avoid a conflict. That is, the accident rate can be reduced and accidents can be reduced. That is a separation of conflicts. That is, a number of possible vehicle conflicts can be avoided. Possible area, vehicle conflict means the accident only. Possible area of conflict, the area of the intersection where the accident is going to occur, that we are going to cut as a area of conflict, that can be avoided. Then the driver's decision we can kept at a single direction. Okay, if you provide channelization, you'll be moving straight only. If you design the intersection, if you are not channelizing the traffic means they will be moving randomly. For example, if you channelize the traffic means you will be moving like this only. If the traffic is not channelized means you will be moving like this. Okay, zigzag manner you will be moving. So which will be creating the conflict points. Then control of angle. A small angle of crossing cause severe accidents if they occur. Severity is reduced if the angle of control. So the accident severity can be avoided. So I told right, due to zigzag movement of the driver, the accident chances of accident will be more. So if we avoid this zigzag manner by providing the channelization, the accident rate can be reduced. That is, the severity of the accidents can be reduced. Then control of speed. So as usual, we know that when the roads are channelized, that is the vehicle speed will be very less. They will be moving in a very lesser speed. So to reduce the speed of traffic entering intersection and increase the traffic leaving the intersection. So whenever you provide the channelization in the intersection, the speed of the vehicle automatically decreases. Whenever you remove the channelization, the speed of the vehicle automatically increases. So as a common tendency of Indians is that when an intersection is arriving means we are going to get down our speed. We are going to slow down our speed. Whenever we left the intersection, automatically our speed boosts. So if we provide channelization, the same thing can be achieved. That is, the speed will be reduced when we arriving at the intersection. When we left the intersection, the speed will increase. Then protection of traffic for vehicles leaving or crossing the main traffic stream. Whenever an intersection is provided and you are providing the channelization, means we are going to protect the traffic vehicles. That is, accidents can be avoided. So the main agenda of channelization is accident reduction in the accident rate and providing protection to the vehicle and the road users. So protection of traffic for vehicles, that is, accident rate can be decreased because when they are leaving the intersection or crossing the intersection. So the accident rate can be reduced here. Then protection of pedestrians, to provide a haven or refuge protection between the traffic flow. Protection of pedestrian means here we are going to provide a separate lane or we are going to provide a zebra crossing. Okay, as we all know that I think everyone are known with this, familiar with this zebra crossing on the road. This zebra crossing, if we provide means we can easily protect the pedestrians. That's why we are going to provide zebra crossing. This is also a channelization for pedestrians. Okay, zebra crossing channelization for pedestrians. Then elimination of excessive intersectional areas. Okay, if we provide a channelization, that is making the vehicle to move in a definite path, means we can avoid this excessive intersectional area. So the area you are going to reduce at the intersection. Then blockage of prohibited movements, to support regulations by making improper movements or encroachment impossible or inconvenient. So remember, if we provide the channelization means the encroachment of the signals or the intersections and regulations. Okay, regulations means installing the signs or signals in the intersection will be easy. So whenever we go for channelization, the installation of signs and signals will be very easy. If you go for unchannelized intersection, it is very difficult to install these signs and signals. Okay, we will not be knowing the pattern of the vehicle movement. That's why in the channelization, we are going to have this regulations, that is signs and signals. Then location of traffic control devices. I told right to provide safe space for traffic control devices such as direction indicators, reflectors, signs, etc. So if we provide this channelization means we are going to provide a space for traffic control devices such as direction indicators, reflectors, traffic signs, etc. Okay, these are the some functions of channelization. You have to remember, you can write it by your own. Okay, nothing to worry about this one. So simply remember the highlighted things. Whatever I have put it, whatever I have made it as bold, you remember and you write by your own. That is separation of conflicts. That is reduction in the accident and reduction in area of conflict. Control of angle of conflict. That is severity of the accident can be reduced if the control angle, entry angle is lesser. Control speed, as we all know that when we approach the intersection, the speed will decrease. And when we leave the intersection, the speed will be increased because of this channelization. Then protection of traffic, which is entering into the mainstream or crossing the intersection. Protection of pedestrians by providing the zebra crossing. By providing the zebra crossing, we can protect the pedestrians. Then elimination of excessive intersectional area. Blockage of prohibited movements, that is encroachment of the intersection area, improper movements can be avoided if we provide channelization. That is, they will move in a definite path without interrupting the other path. Then location of traffic signals and signs. That is the direction indicators, traffic signals and signs, reflectors, etc. can be easily installed when we go for this channelization. Okay, these are the 8 functions you have to remember. This is also very important from the examination point of view. So I have marked here the functions of channelization. 8 functions are there, you have to remember. Okay, is it clear? I hope everyone have understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one is features of channelizing island. So I told right, I will show. You can see here. This is the channelizing island. Okay, you can observe here. You remember here. Okay, I have not added there the diagram island. So this is the channelizing island. Okay, this is also channelizing island. This is also channelizing island. Island means we all know that a small piece of land where the traffic is not utilizing. Okay, the traffic will not be using where the pedestrians are going to stand. So we can call it as a medians also. Median, divider or median. We can call it as median or divider. These are all the channelizing islands. What are their features? We are going to see. So channelizing island may be many different shapes or size guided by the geometry of the intersection. So the shape and size is basically depends on the geometry of the intersection. If it is a rotary intersection, we are going to have it as a circle island. If it is a channelized intersection, we are going to have it as a rectangular island. Okay, rectangular island. So the shape and size basically depends on the type of intersection. Then they should be sufficiently large to command attention. That is, they should be of a larger dimension such that the vehicle can be, the driver can analyze the situation and he can move in the channelization. Then an area of 5 square meter, preferably 7 meters should be minimum. That is the area of the island, whatever the island we are going to provide. So the area of this island, okay, the area of this island should be 5 to 7 square meter. So minimum 5 to 7 square meter we are going to provide. Then elongated or divisional islands introduced on undivided to alert drivers. Okay, in the roads you can observe the dividers. Okay, in the straight roads you can observe the dividers which will alert the drivers. Some people will be there. If the road is straight means they will be simply sitting and holding the steering, and they will be moving without observing the things on the road. So to alert the driver, we are going to provide the elongated or divisional islands, and regulate traffic through intersection should be at least 1.2 meter to. So the elongated islands, okay, the elongated islands, it should be 1.2 meter width, and length is 3.5 to 6 meter. 3.5 to 6 meter we are going to provide in the undivided highway. Then in rural intersection, in a rural area intersection, that is in the rural sites, island curves should be always be mountable type. So usually in the national highway or state highway, you can see the median. Okay, median or divider. So that we are going to call it as a channelizing island. So you can observe along the median, a vertical member will be placed. Okay, vertical member with alternating white and black color, or white and yellow color they will be painting. Okay, on the median, a vertical member will be there. For that, the alternate white and black painting will be made, or white and yellow painting will be made. That type of structure we are going to call it as island curves. So which should be mountable type, except where there is a need for barrier. Majority of the national highway and state highway, you can observe the curves will be there. Above that, a barrier will be provided. Okay, a barrier will be provided. That is a railings, guard railings will be provided at more situation structures for a pedestrian crossing. If you are not providing any channelizing island means we are going to provide this pedestrian crossings. Then for urban intersection, for urban area, mountable curbs are, but barrier type may be provided. You can observe in the urban roads. In the urban roads, the curbs are provided with the barriers. Okay, barricades. I think you all know, you are all seen about this barricades where the police are holding. Those types of barricades can be provided in the urban area, where speeds are low, and protection of pedestrians with signal and lighting standards and signs should be. Not only the barrier type channelizing island we are going to provide, we are going to provide a pedestrian with a signal, lighting and signs to avoid the accident. So these are the some features of channelizing island. So the shape and size should be based on the geometry of the island, geometry of the intersection, sufficiently large to command attention of the road user. The area of the channelizing island should be 5 square meter to 7 square meter minimum. Minimum is 5 to 7 square meter. For elongated or divisional island in the undivided roads, we are going to provide 1.2 meter wide and 3.5 to 6 meter long. Then in rural area, mountable curbs, we are going to provide it as divisional islands. That is the for pedestrian crossings we are going to use. Then for urban area, we are going to use barricades, barrier type or barricades, which will be used as the channelizing island. And since in the urban area the speeds are low, we can provide pedestrian signals, lighting and signs wherever it is necessary. Since in rural area, we have to provide a separate provision should be provided for pedestrians. Why? Because in the rural area, that is the national highway and state highway, the vehicle speed will be running at 80 to 100 kmph. So we can't stop the vehicle easily. That's why you are going to provide a separate provision for channelizing island. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Kindly
Yes,
you can unmute yourself, or you can leave a message in the chat section also. Okay. Next is channelization examples. So the Y intersection, how the Y intersection will be there. how it will be looking, you can observe here. So this is the Y intersection, Y channelization. Then comes the T, which resembles the letter T. You can observe here. Then skewed intersection, that is a X shape intersection. You can observe here. This is the T shape. So this is the inverted T. This is Y shape. Then this is a staggered. Okay, you can see one road is here and another road is here, and you can observe one road is here and another road. That is a staggered 1 year and 1 year. Likewise, you are going to provide. Okay, so these are the channelization examples. So in the exam, if they ask you to write a brief note on channelization, try to write these diagrams also. Y intersection. No need to write the vehicular movement. Simply write Y T intersection, then staggered, then skew. Likewise, you write it. Okay, these are the various types of channelization examples. That is Y intersection, T intersection, then skewed intersection, then staggered intersection. Okay. Next is a basic traffic manuals. The next concept in this is basic traffic manual. There are 4 types of traffic manuals are there: merging, diverging, merging, and crossing or weaving. You can observe here. As we all know that diverging means moving away. Okay, this will be the so when the vehicle traveling along the mainstream opts to diverge or move out. So this is the mainstream he will be moving. So this is the mainstream he will be moving. So he will tend to move away from the mainstream. Okay, he will tend to move away from the mainstream. That we are going to call it as a diverge. Okay, moving out from the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a diverging maneuver. Maneuver means a movement. Okay, movement of vehicle. Maneuvering means movement of vehicles on the road, that we are going to call it as a maneuvering. So 4 types are there: diverging, merging, crossing, or weaving maneuvers. So diverging means moving out of the mainstream to the adjoining land or adjoining lane, that we are going to call it as a diverging. You can observe this is the mainstream, he is moving towards right. And here there are 2 types of divergings are there. So if you consider mainstream, there will be left diverging and there will be right diverging. Okay, this is a left diverging and this is right diverging. So simply remember, moving out from the mainstream to the adjoining land or adjoining lane, that we are going to call it as a diverging maneuver. The second one is a merging maneuver. So moving from a adjoining lane to the mainstream. So this will be the mainstream of traffic. The mainstream of traffic will be moving, and the side traffic coming and merging in the mainstream. The side traffic coming and merging in the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a merging. Okay, you can remember when a vehicle along an adjoining lane or roadway decides to enter. So merging means entering the mainstream. Diverging means leaving the mainstream. Okay, diverging means leaving. Merging means entering. Simply remember, diverging means leaving, merging means entering the mainstream. So here the traffic from the adjoining lane is entering the mainstream. So that we are going to call it as merging. Here also there are 2 types of mergings are there. One is right merging and another one is left merging. Okay, from the left side, if it is merging means if we are going to call it as left merging. So remember, when the traffic entering into the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a merging. When the traffic leaving the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a diverging. Then comes the crossing. When there is a crossing between the 2 vehicles, imaginary path of crossing, that we are going to call it as a crossing. Here also there are 2 types are there: right side crossing and a left side crossing. This is a left crossing, this is right crossing, and another one is a left crossing. Okay, from the left towards right, you are will be from the right towards left, you will be moving from right towards, from left towards right. So right crossing and left crossing. Last one is a weaving traffic. You can observe it is a obliquely across the path of other vehicle moving in the same direction. at a relative angle of crossing. That maneuver we are going to call it as a weaving. So weaving means waving. That is you will be moving like this. Okay, that is you will be moving like this. So this type of maneuver we are going to call it as a weaving maneuver. So remember the basic maneuvers of three types are there. One is merging maneuver. So one is a diverging maneuver. Another, this is a diverging maneuver. You can observe here. So when the traffic leaves the mainstream, away from the moving away from the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a diverging maneuver. When the traffic entering into the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a merging maneuver. When the traffic crossing the mainstream, okay, when the traffic crossing the mainstream, that we are going to call it as a crossing maneuver. Then when the vehicle weaving with the other path of the vehicle, that we are going to call it as a weaving maneuver. So in general, when the traffic is congested on the road, when the traffic is congested on the road means we are going to adopt this weaving. That is overtaking. You will be overtaking, right? So the overtaking is basically obtained from this weaving maneuver. The overtaking of the vehicle we are going to call it as a weaving maneuver. Okay, these are the various basic maneuvers we are going to follow in the traffic stream. That is merging. One is diverging, which is the traffic where leaving the mainstream. Merging, the traffic where will be merging with the mainstream, that is entering the mainstream. Crossing, when the traffic is crossing the mainstream, so this type we are going to see in the intersections. Okay, these types we are going to see in the intersections, crossing, and this is in overtaking. Okay, these are the basic traffic maneuvers. So is it clear, right? Maneuvers, is it clear? Kindly
Yes, sir.
others kindly respond. Is it clear, right? Maneuvers. What do you mean by merging,
Yes, sir.
diverging, then crossing and weaving traffic? Okay. Okay. Again, I am reminding. I am going to engage a special class on Sunday from 10 to 11:30. Don't fail to attend the class. So I am solving the problems on second module, and we will be continuing with the third module. The remaining portion of the third module will be continued on Sunday. Okay. So I will stop here. If you have any doubts with the today's class, you can ask me. Any doubts in this today's class? Any doubts in this? Okay. I hope everyone have followed today's class. That is channelization, channelizing island, then at-grade intersection, requirements of at-grade intersection. Okay. So I have allotted the second quiz in the MS Teams. So you can start attempting, start solving the problems. That is the spot speed study. If you are okay with the speed and delay studies, you can solve one or two problems. After Sunday, you can solve the extra problems what I have given in the assignments. Okay. Okay. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
I'll stop here. We'll continue with the rotary intersection, then design elements and design problems in the later classes. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Or shall we wind up? Shall we meet on Sunday? Kindly respond. Shall we meet on Sunday?
Yes, sir.
We'll meet on Sunday at 10 a.m. so that we'll solve some problems on second module, and we'll wind up that second, and we'll start. We'll continue with the third module. Is it clear? Everyone are okay with the Sunday's class? Kindly respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. You can leave the session. Thank you. Have a good day.